Hey everybody, time for day 5, which is going to include some restorative movements to kind of help solidify everything you've done this week to work from the feet through the knees and the hips. So if we want to start on our mat in a comfortable seat, and if you guys know what a comfortable seat is, that means a seat where you're comfortable and that you are not straining to sit. So go ahead and take your mat and find a comfortable seat. So we have Dahlia for class today too. She's already in a comfortable lay. Not even a seat. She's way past us today. You want to sit on your mat so that your fingers can be on a hard surface. If you're on carpet or some other kind of surface, maybe get a pan or a plate and have in front of you. And I want you to just let your wrists be heavy and tap your fingers on the surface. Just gently, like you're drumming, like you might be a little nervous. And then pause and let your fingers rest on the surface. Find your breath and feel what's happening in your fingertips. Again, drum your fingertips lightly, gently against a hard surface. It could be a book too, or whatever you can have next to you on your mat. You can put them at your sides and drum them. They can be in front of you and drum them. Ross, could you, I hate to move her, but I feel like I need to have people be able to see your fingers. Dahlia,
come here, Dahlia. Come on, I need you to come over here.
I'm sorry. Sit on the mat.
I'm sorry, come over here. Thank you. Okay.
So when we're drumming our fingertips, it's just light drumming, such as that. Yep, just like that. Take a little bit of time, find your breath. And when you're ready, we're going to move on to your back, onto your mat. Today, I forgot to mention, you are going to need a blanket or a bolster or a block that you can place under your hips today. So if you can, take a moment, get something like that. And I'm going to have you place your feet firmly on the ground, knees to the ceiling, and lift your hips up from below. You can have whatever you're going to try next to you. This particular bolster is a foam roller, which is hard surface. With a hard surface like this and somebody like Ross, how does your back feel, your lower back feel?
It's a lot of pressure on my lower back.
Okay, so we don't want pressure in any bridge when we first start coming into bridges. So go ahead and lift your hips up again. And sit with Ross. We'll try a blanket. And we're going to lay it there. Again, you want the top of the surface to be on your sacrum. How's that feel?
Yeah, that's way better.
Does it feel better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, during this practice, if your back starts to hurt, let me know, and I'll have you,
lower it again.
And we'll just keep lowering it until it's in a place where you can hang and let. Mostly here, we're trying to have our heart open up to the ceiling, which requires our rib cage to move up towards the ceiling. Lifting our hips is a great place to start doing that. There's lots of different ways to do bridges. We can press our rib cage into the floor, create a deep lumbar curve, but today that's not our goal. Today, this bridge is about bridging everything we've learned this week from the ankles to the hips and bridging that gap to the rib cage. Finding comfort in everything, retaining everything you've learned, and moving on. And go ahead and spend, up to even 6-7 minutes here if you want to. How's your back doing now?
It's feeling the pressure, like the more I'm breathing.
Yeah.
And the deeper my breaths get.
Okay, so let's go ahead and lift your hips up. Let's change your bridge support again. This time I'm going to move his support up to the rib cage. so that he has support all the way
yeah.
to the rib cage.
Oh yeah, that feels better.
Yeah. So here's his bridge for today. Notice he has his hands in the mudra still for practice today. If you have sore joints or something that's bugging in the elbows or shoulders, you can also just bring your hands into your chest to take that pressure. We want this to be a place of restoration, not fighting, not painful, not overextending. So if you find yourself on a higher support, like that foam roller, you can practice tucking your belly button into your spine, lengthening that lumbar curve just to get some relief out of bridge for a moment, and then let that relax and move your rib cage to the floor. And then breathe and let your body relax. After 6-7 minutes of relaxing through bridge, if you also are still feeling tension in your lower back, you can take your hands behind your occipital ridge of your head and slowly traction it towards the top of the mat, letting your head be heavy. Let your head be heavy and traction that up. Move your hands all the way up to the crown of the head. Letting your ears, letting the back of your throat be heavy. And then return to your meditation position. This will also relieve some tension in the lower back. And you can do that as often as you want. If you find yourself, you keep falling into your old habits of that deep lumbar curve that seem painful, tuck your belly button to your spine for a moment. Reach up, extend the back of the skull up towards the wall behind you, and find some peace. When you're ready, gently lift your hips up off of whatever bolster you're using. Let them fall down to the floor. Find a few breaths here. The next thing you're going to do is extend both of your legs. I didn't extend the legs during the bridge. Okay. And go ahead and hug your right or left leg into your chest, just one leg. You can have comments whenever you want. Find some comfort here. Let your leg be heavy in your hands so that your hip falls to the floor. Oh yeah. Feel that stretch. Give yourself 5 to 10 breaths, whatever feels best with this leg, and then go ahead and slowly lower that leg down to the floor. Extend the palmar surface of the floor, the bottom of your foot towards the wall. And go ahead and hug your other leg in. I want to take just this moment to mention a little thing about stretches. Stretches are actually an exercise. They are not just something we do before and after to open muscles up. These are an exercise for the muscles. Let your hips be heavy. Let the weight of your leg fall into your hand and feel this stretch in a little different way. Let your hips be heavy. Relax your leg. There we go. Find your breath. Same thing. Stretching is an exercise. It's an exercise that can prepare us for harder exercises. It's an exercise that can help us recover from a hard exercise. But either way, you cannot take lightly stretching and what it does to the body, because it can hurt you and help you the same as any workout can. So go ahead and extend your legs down, reach both feet all the way to the wall. You can take your scalp, you can take that crown of your head and move it up to the other wall again with your hands if you want, and fall into Savasana, where you're going to want to spend another 2 to 5 minutes, whatever feels comfortable. During Savasana today, focus on your breath. Big baby belly inhale. Let the air fall out of your chest on its own. Bring the air deep into that lower abdomen. Beautiful. And let the air fall out of your chest and focus on your breath. And as I bring you slowly out of Savasana, can I ask you to pay attention to your breathing and without moving anything, to begin that movement with your fingers drumming the air above you. Wiggle those fingers. Tap your essence above you. Make a little fist and reach your fingertips far out into, and then reach out and spread everything apart. Oh yeah. Do the same thing with your feet. Wiggle your toes. Curl them in and make a fist. Extend them out and reach. You can bring your knees back into your chest. Both knees together, hug them in, and then see if you can let your legs and hips be heavy and fall to the floor. Like just be heavy. Yep. To the right side or the left side. And if this is an uncomfortable position for you, if you feel tugging and pulling any place in your back, take your top leg, place the foot on the floor, and then let your hips be heavy and pull away from the knee on their own as to give that little, and you can slowly maybe move into a bigger stretch. If you have your arms extended out, make sure the palms are reaching for the sky. This puts your shoulders in a better location, helps the body find a little bit more openness. Go ahead and hug your knees back into your chest. This time as you hold your knees into your chest, let your legs be heavy and your hips be heavy. And just gently hold with your arms, but let your hips fall to the floor, just like straight towards the bottom of your mat. Be heavy, let your sacrum come down and meet the floor. Ah, there we go. Then go ahead and rotate to the other side. Roll to the other side. If you can do a full twist here, your hands will be up, your shoulder blade will be touching the floor, and both of your knees and legs will be hanging down. Just beware and be cautious of your own abilities and where your body is at this time. Don't let your bridge extend past what your abilities are. Don't let your stretches stretch past what your abilities are right now. Today is not about that. Today is just about finding comfort where you're at and listening to your body and respecting that for now. And then hug your knees back into your chest one more time. Relax, let your feet fall down. Maybe roll over to your right side, the side facing me. And gently push yourself up with your arms and come to seated position. And you guys, thanks for getting through 5 days with me, Nikki, and Ross, and sometimes Dahlia and Ruby. But it's been a journey, and hopefully this will get easier and easier for all of us to communicate in this way and find things that work for us to practice at home. Enjoy your practice.